Let me now turn to another big story that we are wanting to turn our attention to, and that, of course, is the question of who is going to be occupying the White House come January 2025. Will it be the man who's there right now, Joe Biden? He's in the White House right now. Is he going to be back? Could it be Donald Trump, the man who was here till just a couple of years ago? Or is it going to be somebody else completely surprising? Now, the race has already started in a sense. We're seeing debates that have been taking place this week. We've been seeing all these legal cases around Trump and what that means. And then there's Joe Biden, no clear challenger right now from the Democratic side, but there are questions over him, including, of course, his age. So who has the edge? Well, this is the state of play as of now, but it could change.
The 2024 US presidential elections promise to be like no other election. The race for the top seat is already heating up. The two top heavyweight candidates are former President Donald Trump from the Grand Old Party and incumbent President Joe Biden from the Democratic side. Although Trump faces several indictments for his efforts to undermine the 2020 elections, reports show that he could be leading the polls ahead of Biden.
Well, I want to thank everybody. I do love Virginia.
But Trump doesn't only need to fear Biden, he also has Republican candidates who seek to dethrone him as the frontrunner. Contenders like Mike Pence, Chris Christie, Ron DeSantis, Tim Scott, Nikki Haley, Vivek Ramaswamy, Asa Hutchinson, Doug Burgum, Will Hurd, Larry Elder, and Perry Johnson. They're all ready to put up a tough fight against the former president. Be it through his lawyers or his own words, Trump has managed to keep his supporters in his bubble of innocence. Time and again, he has reiterated how he is a victim of politically motivated prosecutions. Interestingly, the situation of incumbent President Biden is not so different. Although the Democrat doesn't have a list of legal charges against him, he has his own share of problems that could derail his presidential campaign. From his absurd gaffes during crucial speeches to growing criticism about his deteriorating age, Biden not only has to make voters believe that he can stretch for another term, he also has to show a clean slate after being accused of being involved in his son Hunter Biden's legal cases. But did you know a Republican is also facing the same accusations as Biden's son?
We don't want any more brown faces that don't want to be a brown voice.
The newcomer Republican candidate, Vivek Ramaswamy, who has portrayed himself as being tough on China, was in business with high-ranking members of the Chinese Communist Party. Reports show that Ramaswamy had business dealings with the same CCP-linked family that paid millions to Hunter Biden. South Carolina Senator Tim Scott highlighted the same during a primary debate in California.
I can't imagine how you can say that knowing that you were just in business with the Chinese Communist Party and the same people that funded Hunter Biden millions of dollars was a partner of yours as well.
Freedom.
From dark horses like Ramaswamy to the US President Biden, most presidential candidates seem to have dirt on their hands. Are they truly ready to take on challenges of being the president? Or will they be busy trying to protect their public image? You see, the US is facing some major challenges. Number 1, abortion rights. Democrats plan to make the issue central to their campaign. Reports show that the issue is now leaning more towards supporting reproductive rights, and Democrats hope that millions will vote to remove the abortion ban. On the other hand, Democrats are split between voters who believe abortion ban should be left to individual states and people who support a national ban. Issue number 2, the economy. The Democrats say that the economy is healthy, unemployment is at its lowest, and investments in infrastructure are producing long-term job gains, while Republicans promise that they will cut federal spending, trim back federal regulations, and lower taxes. Issue number 3, gun violence. The rate of crimes linked to gun violence remains at high levels across the nation. It could also pose a threat to voters and election workers during the 2024 elections. Both Democrats and Republicans are concerned. So will the voters have a tough time choosing the new president? Will top candidates be able to show a clean slate? Bureau Report, WION World is One.
Well, let's now try and find out who is going to be occupying the White House about a year and a half from now, and who better to talk to than Judge Christopher Buell, White House correspondent, Real Political News, been really analyzing this in great detail. John, I know you know the answer. Who's going to be here 1.5 years from now?
I pray for inspiration, but what I can see, what I can feel, I think that since Joe Biden already defeated Donald Trump, and the world has changed in 2020. The Democrats have gained more seats. They took a real strong movement, and Biden is doing very well. You know, there's all sorts of questions. The fact is that the real question is, will Donald Trump have enough time in his schedule with all the indictments and the suits and the court appearances? Will he have time to even campaign? Well, we saw this week the GOP debates with 7 of the candidates, the hopeful candidates, who will be challenging Trump, but he was a no-show.
Why is he choosing not to come for these debates? Is it because he thinks he'll be attacked, he'll have to answer questions on indictments and all of those issues?
You said it, he does. And he's trying to minimize the importance of the debates. You know, if he doesn't...
He's above it all. He's a mythical figure floating in the clouds somewhere.
Well, you said something very interesting with the word mythical, because I've known Donald Trump for 50 years. I'm from New York, okay? Giuliani too, actually. But the fact is, he thinks he is above it all. He has convinced himself that he is all-powerful, that he is all knowledgeable, that he is all wealthy, and now his wealth is... It's showing that his properties are going to be given away because he can't afford them. He inflated them for tax reasons and deflated the value for tax reasons. And now he's caught. He's the kind of kid who, when he was a little boy, his mother caught him with his hand in the cookie jar. And she says, "Donnie, what are you doing?" And he said, "It's not my hand." I mean, this is typical. This is typical Trump.
So let's look at both the parties. So first of all, when it comes to the Republicans, it is definitely Donald Trump. It's not. None of the others are likely to be able to challenge him.
Even the closest is he's like 40% above the closest.
And on the other side, on the Democratic side, will it be Biden, or is there going to be a challenge at some point?
Well, that's a very interesting question. There are some very, very good possibilities if Joe Biden decides not to run, but he's pretty committed to running. And I think he and his wife have made that choice, and he will be running. The toughest thing for Biden would be if there's a third-party candidate.
Who do you think has got a better chance of beating Trump if it is Trump? Is it Biden? Is it somebody else? Because at Biden, there will always be that question around age, and is he too old, and is he going to be able to pull it together?
There is no one who has the depth, the experience, or the quality as Joe Biden in terms of what he's accomplished. And he's doing his best to present a strong character, and I think he may be the one who will see it through. And I think he possibly then will beat Trump on November 8th, 2024.
John Christopher, we're going to be back here next year covering this in great detail, so thank you so much for joining us.
That's a promise I will fulfill with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.